Good morning, YouTube family. Martinez Country Home here. It's been a few days that I haven't made a video. Apologies for that. That doesn't mean that things haven't been going on. It seems like every day you're hearing about something, either a continuation or some new development of, of the collapse that's going on around us. Reason I really wanted to make this video was because I saw another, although I believe in the beginning I had reported about it, about how but a lot of corporations and government entities are profiting from what we're going through right now, from the health crisis to the economy. There's always winners that are benefiting from the misery and the chaos, the destruction, from everything bad that happens to the people. Somebody profits from that. There's always now in the past, you could say maybe like lumber companies, places like Home Depot, Lowe's, if you go further back, Builder Square, places like that, they would benefit during say a hurricane or some kind of a tornado, some kind of natural disaster, because people obviously would have to go and rebuild, and so they'd get their products from these companies, and that would be an unintended benefit, let's say. But now, with the technology that we have in financial instruments, that's the best way to describe them. Financial instruments, contracts, things like that, different processes that are available to big corporations, trusts. You have companies that are benefiting from it in a big way. So I'm going to leave a link to this video I saw yesterday from the New American Video, Daniel Natal, talking about how Harvard is betting against America. So I don't think a lot of people are aware that there's actually there's something called pandemic bonds, and pandemic bonds obviously have to do with pandemics. Before, people had companies, corporations would take out insurance against certain things happening, and these were actually like derivatives. There's weather derivatives. You even have derivatives that are on water. So water, in case I didn't know, water has been it's trading on the stock market. I don't know if it already started, but this was months ago that they were going to start trading it on the stock market. So if there's a water shortage or a drought, and to me a lot of these water shortages are man-made, guys, because somebody's going to profit from it. Just like supply and demand. At least when I was going to school, I was taught that supply and demand determined the price of a certain product or a certain asset. And they're doing the same thing with water. It's artificial scarcity, what they're doing. So they have these tricks in the case of water where artificial scarcity, they do it all the time with oil. They'll stop oil production. Not so much because there's too much oil, or they do it because to make the price go up. Artificial demand. So Harvard University actually made more money during the pandemic than if they actually had students going to school, because most universities public schools, private schools, they all closed down during the pandemic, at the beginning of the pandemic. For most of the remainder, the little remainder there was of 2020, and then part of the new school year in 2020 in the fall, going into 2021. So just letting you know, guys, that there's a lot going on. This is why I tell y'all to prepare, because a lot of this is not natural, it's man-made. And of course, I know a lot of y'all know this, but a lot of times, you know, we prepare because we're seeing some kind of a natural disaster that's coming, or that's possible. But also, guys, just a reminder that we got to prepare for things that they will be responsible for on purpose, you know. And I know a lot of y'all know this already, but it just goes to show you the world we're living in, where corporations are basically running everything. The bankers are making laws. Entities that we should think of, like, for example, the Democratic National Party, or whatever, the Democratic Party. They have their own. They're a for-profit corporation. So same thing with the Republican Party, but the Democratic Party seems to just be out there putting their nose where it doesn't belong, having corrupt, both parties having corrupt primaries, stuff like that. And the reason I bring that up with the parties is because there was a story, I believe it was yesterday, that came out. I'm not sure the origins, but it came out in the Health Ranger with Mike Adams, talking about how the DNC is pushing for now. How they would be able to do that, I don't know, but nothing surprises me, and nothing to me, like I've said before, everything's on the table. They're pushing to be able to access people's text messages and correct information regarding the health crisis, and if they see a text with misinformation. Now, when these stories pop up, guys, I'm not saying that they're not really trying to do it, but I also know why they're doing it. They're just basically, you know, to be very basic, is they're stirring the pot. They want people riled up. They want to see how people react. They want to see if people will, you know, what kind of, you know, it's all data, you know, so we're just feeding into it. But it's good to stay aware so that you can actually keep an eye out if you see clues that's being done to you, like if you see your text messages being interrupted or something abnormal. And I've had that happen to me, but it's always hard for me to say what's the reason. You know, is the Wi-Fi down, or is my network, you know, going down, or is there some kind of network outage? The technology, the technology is in everybody's lives. Everybody's connected, and so we try to opt out, or, you know, we don't want to participate. Our devices they might not work to their full use. Honestly, guys, this world would be so much simpler if we just used phones, just regular phones. The technology, of course, is supposed to free us up and make our lives more easier, more convenient, but it's the opposite, and it's by design. So those are the two things that was on my mind. Of course, there's the more important thing, the more pressing issue to me in my eyes that I see, of course, is the inflation. And and guys, I've been hearing how inflation is like going up. It's through the roof. I'm gonna say it again. We don't here in San Antonio, where I live at, in Texas, I don't see it yet. Now, if you go to places like Austin, maybe Central Texas, the I-35 corridor, the further north you get from San Antonio up through, like, say, just to maybe like past Austin, like what's that town up? What's the name of that? Starts with a K. Anyway, guys, the I-35 corridor, there's a lot of people moving over there. A lot of people. The expansion is mind-boggling, and up there you might see prices really going up because there's so many people, especially with home prices and with property taxes, which is really hurting the people that already live there, that are from that area. But here in San Antonio, I don't honestly, guys, I don't see prices really going up. I do see a lot of shrinkflation, but I see shrinkflation in the things that I don't really buy. We don't really buy a lot of processed foods. I'm not saying we don't buy it, but we don't. It's like for a treat. We might buy, some taquitos like flautas or something in a box, which are like movie night. We'll make some guacamole or some pico de gallo or something, and watch a movie or something. But we're not really seeing that that inflation. But that being said, I do notice that we have less discretionary funds. We have less money to spend on just everyday things. Everything that we're buying is a necessity, or things that we need, and I'm finding that I have less money to just buy on, I won't call it frivolous things, but just money that is, just money that is kind of like, just, I don't know how to say it, for funsies, I guess. Things that we don't really need but want. You know what I'm saying? But when I think about it, we have everything. We have everything that we need. You know what I'm saying? But even like, let's say, for example, clothes or shoes, we have to wait. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just noticing. Also, now what I do notice going up, guys, is like utilities. I see all these charges, all these new, and they're taxes, guys, and these taxes are coming from multinational corporations. They're coming from out of the country, because the United States is in debt, guys. They've sold our resources, our water, our power, and we're the ones footing the bill, while the people that benefit from it, I mean, they don't get touched by the debt. You know what I'm saying? That's all we're here for, is we're debt slaves. And it sounds like overly dramatic, or like, a little bit of exaggeration, but it's really not, guys. It's really not. What's kind of and I'm sure maybe y'all can relate, but what really is more that weighs on me is how it's people, everyday people, that are making all this possible, because nobody speaks out. too many people go along with it, with the agenda, believing that it's beneficial and that, you know, it's good for us, and, you know, you get sucked down with the masses, right? And when we try to speak up or try to make a stand, we're labeled as, you know, troublemakers or extremists or whatever. When all we are is that we're the ones that are aware of what's going on, and but we're halting progress, right? Air quotes. We're halting progress. So guys, the only thing that I see, really, you know, if I gain this out and I take it step by step, I see how the price, for some reason, my money's not going as far. Like I said, I think it's because of the utilities, stuff like that. This guy passed. A lot of things are going up, and you know what? I'm very happy. I'm very grateful that I started prepping when I did, and I think I've mentioned this again, but I'll say it again, guys. This is when I'm very thankful for the pantry I have, and for the other non-food items that I've stocked up on. I look at my pantry and I'm like, man, thank God that I have all this stuff, because and then when you got growing kids, you got teenagers, I mean they eat, guys, you know. I mean, they eat. And this is why I prepare the way I do, is because of my children. I don't want them going hungry, or, you know, like I tell them, you know what, you're gonna eat, but don't leave the food, you know, don't make something to eat and then you don't finish it all. I mean, finish it, you know what I'm saying? That's my thing. You're gonna eat, you know, eat, but don't waste it. So anyway, I'm very grateful for that. Another observation, guys, that I've seen, I've been hearing through other people that I talk to, wages for, you know, certain employees are being moved up, but higher wages, people that make a certain amount of money, they're being lowered. So it was kind of funny, but when I was hearing that, it reminded me of communism, where, you know, they want everybody equal, they want everybody the same. And this is from a government entity I'm not going to mention, because I'm too close to it. Oh my God, this guy almost got hit by a car crossing the street. Dude, people in a rush, man. I'm seeing these things right in front of my face, and I'm like, sometimes I can't believe it, but like I said, there's little things happening. It might have already happened. Where y'all live, it might be happening where y'all live already. Here, it's not as bad, but I do see the changes where they're going in a certain direction. And I understand, guys, that it might be because the field that I'm in, some fields are doing better than others. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that. I mean, I understand that some fields are doing great, making a lot of money. But I'm just saying that if you've lived in a certain field or a certain lifestyle, you know, prepare for that lifestyle or your ability to maintain that lifestyle to start being harder to keep up. So like I said, guys, there's a lot of things going on. our local governments have sold us out. The county, the city, even the school districts. They're the ones that push these globalist agendas, you know, and most people don't realize that, you know. When people talk about the UN, you know, we're getting invaded by the UN, or and they're like, well, where? Well, I don't see them. You know, I don't see the blue helmets or whatever. Well, the blue helmets guys, they're invisible. They're sitting in the city council or county commissioners, especially county commissioners, because they're the ones that control the property taxes. And they're doing great, guys. They're not hurting. We got great pensions and stuff like that. But guys, it had been a while. I hadn't done a video with y'all. I'm apologize for that. It just, I do see a lot of things going on, and it's like I do see other content creators talking about them, and I see it. Oh, this dude, cop, just went into my lane. There's so many things going on right now. I tend to sit back, because a lot of times these issues that come up, these stories, they're on purpose, and I don't like being manipulated, so I just sit back. A lot of people start talking about it, and I see it for what it is, and I'm like, boy, especially y'all, I'm sure y'all see it. So I tend to sit back and wait a little bit until I want to see what's going on. Is it really an issue? Is it really something that has merit, or is it just something that's trending, guys? Because when things trend, it's trending for a reason. They want it to trend. It's like they're throwing bait out there, and they want to see, you know, who's gonna nibble at it, or, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you guys, they got apps. They have computer programs that actually track when something's trending or when something's being talked about in real time. The military especially, they have apps that track how things are discussed on media, on social media like Facebook. I've never had Twitter or Instagram or all these other things, but I don't know how those work, but they have stuff even in the prepper community. So I tend to just wait, and unless it's very obvious and it's actually affecting me, or I can see it with my own eyes. Guys, let me talk about one other thing, guys, that I should have talked about it when I was told. I have friends in Idaho, in the Boise area, and my good friend was telling me how in Idaho there's farmers out there, rural communities, that are experiencing water shortages because their wells are dry, and a lot of these wells have been sucked dry by the new subdivisions being built and all this stuff. And it's a real issue. It's a real concern. Well, you know what? I'm gonna wait on that one. It's a real concern, guys. Their wells are actually running dry, and the equipment that these companies that dig wells and all that, they can't dig them because they don't have the parts or whatever equipment they need, materials, because they get them from China. So that's another thing that's going on. The West is experiencing a drought. I know Prepper Now did a video. He's out there. I'm not sure if he's still out there on vacation, going through the Big Sky country, and he did one from Wyoming, and Wyoming was dry, a lot of drought. And in Idaho as well, my friends Kat and Bobby Owens were telling me, great people, guys, by the way, telling me that how it's very dry up there in Idaho. They haven't had rain in I don't know how long, and so Now down here, it's the opposite. We've had a lot of rain. It's green down here. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people, you know, they don't see. They might. One part of the country might be experiencing. One part of the country might be experiencing one thing, and another might not. You know. So anyway, guys, really happy to be back with y'all. I've been hanging back, like I said. Also, you know, I'm just keeping an eye on things. Why do these guys drive like that? Come on, dude, you're in the highway, brother. People driving like they're in a parade. There's things going on, guys. Some things are very subtle. Like I said, here in San Antonio, we don't really, it doesn't really look bad. Everything looks pretty good, but at the same time, there are little things that are, you know, if you really look, there's things are happening, and I'm seeing evidence of the government getting so much money. They have so much money, and they're basically taking over. They're basically taking over from the private side, and you have huge corporations that have ties, you know, corporate ties to the powers that be, that they're being successful. It's not dramatic. It's not like very overly obvious, but it's happening. Just little signs if you read between the lines. So, anyway, guys, just keep stocking, man. Don't stop. Especially the food. I'm not saying that there's ever gonna be like a food shortage. I can't speak to that. Some people talk about. I've heard of the GMA. I'm sorry, not the GMA. The GSA. At first I was like, what the hell is that? What are y'all talking about? But I guess they abbreviated it because their channels were getting hit with strikes or whatever, or something. I guess they were getting hit with, you know, they mentioned it. So if somebody wants to enlighten the other subs, I don't even know it was a problem, but I just saw it started getting abbreviated, but it has to do with like the polls and all that. Now I know they had talked about the poll shift, you know, but I'm like, man, you know what? Let's keep it one thing at a time. You know what I'm saying? We already got enough to worry about, but yeah, the poll shifts and all that. If things affect how crops are, you know, we're gonna have our crop success, the harvest and all that, then yeah, that's because that's our food, you know what I mean? But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and stop already. Didn't mean to go for it to go so long. Really happy to be here again, just making another video. Try to be a little bit more consistent. It's just like I said, I usually hang back, and there's a lot going on, guys. A lot to keep up with, but you know, sometimes whenever I feel it's on purpose, and it's been basically put there, I tend to hang back and check it out first. But anyway, hope you have a great day, guys. By the way, I forgot to say, it's Wednesday, July the 14th, 2021. It's almost the weekend. But y'all take care of each other, guys. Take care of each other out there. Love each other, because that's what we're here for. God bless.